Hello and welcome to week 11. This week coming up, we will cover some information about eating disorders, and you all are still wrapping up your discussion posts from the last week, week 10 on neurocognitive disorders, and I've been reading through your posts and they look fantastic, very thorough. And you're also finishing up your exam from the last 4 weeks, which is due by Tuesday. And so, again, if you have any trouble, just reach out to me. I see email more quickly during the week, but hopefully you have everything you need. If anybody is going to look for it now, when you scroll down or when you look under the Tools tab, you'll find it under Quizzes. It was creating some problems with duplicates to have it also under the Assignment tab, and so that's why that one was removed. And so you can find it under Quizzes. And just let me know if you have any trouble, but please don't wait till the last minute, because I probably won't see it if you're trying to take it at 10 o'clock at night on Tuesday. So I hope that this last week was helpful, that the content was helpful for you to be able to get some sense. Again, this is such a deep medical field, neurocognitive disorders, that a week's worth of content is not going to make you an expert by any means. But hopefully you got a sense of the different types of disorders and kind of the, what dementia is, what Alzheimer's is, things like what a vascular-based dementia might look like. So hopefully that was helpful. And this week, as we cover eating disorders, I will just say that there's not a whole lot of information in the DSM about eating disorders. The categories really changed. Some things that used to be part of eating disorders are now in other categories. Primarily, the content this week will cover anorexia nervosa and bulimia nervosa and kind of the difference between the two and some of the changes to the criteria in the DSM. And I will just reiterate what you're going to hear Dr. Mabry say in the recorded mini lecture, which is that part of the reason that we don't go deep with this is that this is a highly, highly specialized field. It is also a field similar to neurocognitive disorders that needs to be, in order to be treated safely, needs to be in strong connection with medical care. Most therapists, even really experienced ones, do not have specialized knowledge in eating disorders. Having had a couple of clients with eating disorders does not make you a specialist in this field. And it is a field, all mental health fields are important. All areas of diagnosis, we want to treat our clients and our populations as carefully as we can and as intentionally as we can. But there are some fields where not having specialized knowledge can be, not to be dramatic, but the difference between life and death, and this is one of those. So, again, one of the things we want you to know is that having a basic working knowledge is important. And one of the reasons that that is important is so that you can refer to specialists when necessary. I have found in my field in doing dialectical behavior therapy, it is very common that we have, whether somebody meets criteria for an eating disorder or just has kind of behavioral stuff that looks like eating disorders, and that easily could sort of trip into having a diagnosable eating disorder. DBT can be adapted for eating disorders if the eating disorder is not the primary, right? Like if it's secondary to some of the other things that we're treating, but certainly it can be adapted to treat eating disorders just as it can be adapted to treat substance use disorders or lots of other things. But I am fully aware when I'm treating somebody who has an eating disorder with DBT that I am not a specialist. And I often think some of the regular things we do in general therapy might be actually counterproductive when somebody's dealing with an eating disorder. So all that to say, make sure that you are not outside of your scope. And that, it can be really helpful to have really strong professional, collegial relationships with specialists in various fields, especially if there's a lot of overlap between wherever you end up and eating disorders or substance use or personality disorders or whatever those things are. So anyway, hopefully you will find this helpful as a general overview. There's the lecture video, and then there's another video, and then a few cases for you to look at. And then your discussion prompt, which you will have had a few days to recover from the exam before you have to look at the discussion prompt. So if you have any questions, again, let me know. I've caught up on a lot of my grading for other classes that have had a lot of papers. And so I'm hopeful that I'll be able to get to sort of regrading or reassessing the parts of the exam that I need to regrade, so that you can get your results fairly quickly. I can't promise you're going to have them by Wednesday, but hopefully, before next week, you'll be able to get your exam grades. That's all I can think of for right now. So I hope you all have a good restful evening tonight. It's Sunday evening. Oh, I knew there was something else. One of your classmates mentioned that quite a few folks in the class or in the cohort have children at home who have spring break that first full week of April, which I guess is like the 6th through the 11th or whatever it is, and asked if I could try to get the content up sooner for that week. I will do that. I'll try to get it up a couple of days in advance. I don't want you to give short shift to the previous week and not really cover that content thoroughly. So I'll do the best that I can to give you a little bit of extra time, but I'm not going to put it up a whole week early because that really takes away from your ability to focus on the content for the previous week. So now I think that's it. As soon as the exams are done, I'm going to send probably a Google Doc to get a sense of when people might be available how many people want a Zoom meeting to talk about the memoir paper, and when people might be available to do that, so that I can answer any questions that you might have. But it's pretty close to a biopsychosocial, which you've already done before. So I think you all are going to do just fine based on what I see with your weekly posts and how thorough and insightful and deep your posts go. I'm not concerned that you'll have any trouble with the paper, but I am likely to shorten it just a little bit, which I know is difficult sometimes to get all the content you want to get in a shorter format, but just for the sake of not having to write extra stuff just for the sake of writing extra stuff, I will probably shorten it by a couple of pages. So again, let me know if you have questions, and I will see you soon.